I'm Mark Pollard. I've been a match angler for over 40 years. I've enjoyed success on every type of venue, and now it's time to put it to the ultimate test. The Matrix team will book me into matches in the UK and across to Europe on venues that I've never fished before. It's up to me to crack the venue in one single practice session. And then I'm putting my reputation on the line in the open match the next day. Will I crumble under pressure? Or will practice make perfect? Well, hello, and here we are again for another round of the practice, and as you can see, we're at the famous Partridge Lakes fishery in Cheshire. Just look at that. Have you ever seen anything like it? Lakes everywhere, well kept, and just a superb place to be. I've been really excited about coming here today, or for these 2 days. Well, we're off now to have a practice, and we're going to one of the lakes that the match is on tomorrow. I think it's Covey, or they're very similar, and just work out a way, a couple of methods that are going to help me in the match tomorrow to try and do well on a venue that I have not fished before. I've walked around it a couple of times but never fished it. Really looking forward to it. Smashing place, as you can see, it's just lakes everywhere and hopefully loads of fish. Let's get down to the bank and get set up. Well, I am all set up. As you can see, it really is a lovely lake, and they're pretty similar, all the lakes. This is one of the lakes that may be in tomorrow in the match, but they're very similar, and it will just give me an idea on my approach to the match tomorrow. I've set up a rig for fishing down the middle, and it's very deep down there, probably got about 6 foot. I'm going to fish maggot down there. Although talking to a few guys, just doing a little bit of homework, pellets just started to work. So normally you can start on pellet and change to maggot. It's not really a good thing to start on maggot and change to pellet. So I've got my maggot line at about 5 joints just in the deeper water. I've not done a margin line because I just feel that there won't be no fish there just yet. As only we're just going into spring, and it's been very cold this year as well, which has set us back a bit, so everything's a little bit behind. I've set up 3 rigs for over. I found about 3 foot, which is probably only about a foot and a half off the far bank vegetation, and it's nice and flat. And I've set a rig to my right and a rig to my left that I'm going to start on pellet. I'm going to feed micros, fish a full well expander on the hook. But to my right, it's slightly shallower than to my left. So I've done 2 separate rigs for there, and then I'll just work my, if I'm not getting bites, I'll work my way along and try another spot just to find where the fish are. But what I will be starting with first of all, that does work through the winter time and still working here now, speaking to a few guys, that dobbing bread. But to my normal venues that I fish, where you're fishing 018 or 016, the lightest hook length, I'm fishing 012 to a 16 and a 6mm piece of punch, but still fishing it off bottom. I'm going to start on that in a minute and just work my way along the far bank cover, just to see if I can nick a couple of fish and get a feel if it works, it's something I can try tomorrow. The main thing is just trying with this practice today is just trying to work out how I'm going to be comfortable fishing tomorrow, because it's a new venue, not fished it, and maybe my approach in my feeding may be a bit different to the locals that are fishing on here and doing well and catching fish. I did speak to James Howard last night, who won an individual league here, and it was very similar how my approach was going to be, but he was saying to not bother with pellet, but then a few guys this morning said about the pellet started to work just a couple of days ago, so I'm going to give it a go and just see, and then like I say, I can change to maggot. So that's going to be my approach. So I've got 2 lines over, a dobbing line all the way along as well, and a line down the middle. Very simple, and I'm just going to cup in maggot down there. I'm not going to loose feed by hand. I'm just going to cup in probably every 20 minutes a few maggots and just see if that throws up any fish. So let's get started and see what we can catch and work out. Right, I'm just going to start. I've just fed some maggot down the middle, but I'm just going to start by dobbing a little bit of 6mm bread along the far side, 6 off bottom, and just see if anything turns up. Just have a little look. As you can see, I've been trying different areas along there. I'm off bottom, I'm probably 4 to 6 inches off bottom wherever I'm putting it, but just don't seem to be a quick fish on bread to be taken. I've dobbed all the way along there, I've gone tighter in now, and I've probably been fishing it 15 minutes maybe, but you'd have had an indication by now. Sometimes it can take half an hour, but I just feel maybe I've got to be feeding maggot or micros and fishing a little light rig over there. I've gone right tight from where I am now to nearly 13 metres to my left, and I've come away a little bit as well. Not an indication, nothing. Which isn't encouraging, but I've fished many commercials where you don't get a bite on bread and then you start fishing on maggot or pellet and you catch a few fish, so it's just a method I wouldn't rule out starting tomorrow, because another peg, different day. But it's just worth a look. That first 15 minutes is just worth having a look and just to get a feel. But surprised if there's only me here fishing, but when you've got more angles on the bank you get a feel what's happening. But I've not had a touch on this bread, so I think I'm going to change now and start across one of the lines I've got across on pellet first of all. Before I go across, I'll refeed again in my deep line with a few maggots just to keep that topped up. Before I go over, I'll just tell you about the rig I'm going to use. I'm going to fish to my right first of all, which is slightly shallow, probably 2 or 3 inches shallower than the rig to my left. But I've got a simple setup. I've got 0.14 main line, 0.10 hook length, so a size 18, and I'm fishing with a little bulk because I'm fishing pellet first of all. It's probably 3 foot deep, and I'm fishing one of my MP4's 4x12. And then if I change that line to maggot, I'll just spread my bulk a little bit and lay it in. But that's what I'll start off with first of all, just the line to my right with a 4mm expander on the hook. And hopefully it will go under. Just lowering the rig in very carefully, keeping it straight out, just dropping it down so I'm following it down very positive. So I can register a bite straight away when I lower the float in. I'm looking to see a bite straight away. Well, we're well into this practice session now, and I've tried dobbing the bread, I've not had a bite. And I started on a pellet line to my right, and I thought I had an indication. I had a look on the pellet line on my left, and I had a definite bite. And then another little bit of bite. Thought it might have been a gudgeon or a little fish, and I thought could have been an F1. Definitely want a carp, but nothing. Then I went back and I fed maggot then on the pellet line over there after I had another look. And I did feed my down the middle line with the maggot as well, keeping that topped up. Went on maggot over there, nothing, not an indication. So now what I'm about to do is just change down, because I had the indication there, a smaller hook, just to see, and a low diameter line, just to see if that'll encourage a couple of fish to feed. There's fish there definitely, because I've had an indication on both lines. I've not looked down the middle line yet, but just trying to work out something, just to see if it is what I normally used to fishing, smaller hooks, low diameter line, to get the bites and catch the fish. So let's just put a smaller hook on and give that a go. Right, well, I've just spent another 5 to 10 minutes on a smaller hook, low diameter line on the pellet on this line where I had my best 2 indications, but nothing, not a sign. So I'm now going to change that to a maggot line now, and then go to my right hand peg, which I changed to a maggot line, just to see if I can get any indications there. At the same time, I'll top up my down the middle line as well. It's just a matter of just trying to rotate your lines and just trying to work out what's the best way just to try and get the fish to feed. So not responding at the moment to anything that I'm doing. Well, we're an hour and a half in and I want to go home. It's cold. I've not had a bite. No. The 2 lines now over, I've changed to maggot, and I've had a look on both of them, but I've not had an indication on maggot, and I've scaled down the hook length. So now I'm going to put a few more maggots, just top it up on the 2 lines over, and have a look on my line I've been feeding. We're about an hour and a half in, and have a look on the line down the deep water. I'm sure I'll catch over, just at the moment, nothing doesn't seem to be responding. So put a little bit more bait there, come short, and have a look early on the line down the deep water and just see if there's some fish there feeding. Yeah, maybe one of them days, but it's definitely a little bit colder. The wind's blowing. Now I thought there might have been a tow on the water and maybe my bait's going, obviously the wind's going right to left and maybe my bait's going left to right, but I've chucked a couple of max down the side there. No, they're just going straight down, so that fear is out the window. Let's have a look in that deeper water. Hopefully, maybe, I might get a bite there. So I had an indication just before, and then that went real slight bite. Feels like an F1. Beautiful F1. Look at him. Absolute beauty. Very shy. Looks like it might have been fouled up, but I don't think it is. Beautiful F1s. That is £3. Beautiful fish. Very hard to catch. Beautiful fish. Right, I'm going to put some maggots there now, only a few. Just see if I can catch over. Oh, there we go, lovely bite. A barbel, and looked in the, look at that. Barbel looked at its side fin. There's a turn up for the books. No wonder it shot off like it did. Look at that beautiful fish. Look at him. To be fair, I didn't know there was barbel in here. So, then being Partridge Lakes, they probably got everything. Right, I'm going to come back in and go on the line in the deeper water, because I just feel there's more fish there feeding. I've been out on both lines, I had an indication to my right, and where I'm fishing now I've had a barbel and 2 good bites that I just bumped the fish when I come up. But I just feel there's more fish feeding that deeper water, so I'm going to refeed those 2 lines with a few maggot, and maggot is definitely better than the pellet, much better when I change to it. So I'm going to refeed those 2 lines with a few more maggot, only a few, probably 10 or a dozen maggots on each line, then come back through the deeper water. But I'll just take you through my rig after I've just fed these 2 lines. Just show you the setup. Right, my rig, I'm fishing the deeper water. The float is my little MP4 4x12s, and then I've just got 014 mainline, 010 to a 20, and I've just got some spread 11 shots in a big spread bulk, probably 2 foot from my hook, going down to within 6 inches of my hook, just set probably a few inches apart. I'm just fishing a single maggot. Very similar to the 2 rigs over, but obviously it's a lot deeper and it takes a lot longer for it to weight up. But the fish just don't want no resistance, and only putting in 4 or 5 maggots. And the bites are pathetic. The 2 quickest bites I had, one was a gudgeon that I caught and one I missed. I thought was I would have thought was another gudgeon. And very important that once the float's gently weighted up, every probably minute, just lift it afloat and drop it back down, trying to tempt the fish to take it. that for an F1. What a beautiful fish. Gudging. I'm going to put some food down there, a few more maggots down there, down the middle, and go over and have a look on that overline. There we go, a lovely bite that was. I just knew I'd have to catch over there, but I thought I'd catch sooner. Definitely an F1, definitely. Yeah, lovely F1 as well. There we are. Right, let's finish on him. I've had good practice. I've got a little plan for tomorrow, depending obviously where I draw. If I'm like on a big feature or something, but most of the pegs are pretty formal for catching beauties like that one. That is a perfect F1. Well, I've got a bit of a plan for tomorrow from what I've learnt today. I'm a little bit gobsmacked actually that you've got a fish so fine. I was 010, 20 hook, which normally 012, 18 you get away most places. And I know it's cold, I know the fish had leeches on them, but I feel you really do need to fish like it because the bites were just, well, pathetic. You'd think it'd be a stickleback in that deeper water, and then up pops a big F1 or a carp like I've caught. I'm still going to have 2 lines over because most of these lakes are pretty much the same, so I'm going to have 2 lines over, but I'm not going to fish pellet. I'm going to fish maggot, 2 maggot lines, and not feed a lot at all, and have my deep water line. But I might have 2. Just depends where I am, if I've got a bit of space. I keep looking all the time I've been fishing this practice at these platforms either side, because normally you can put a line in down towards the platform, but I just feel it's just not right. I just got that feeling it's just not right yet where it's still so cold. I mean, the fish, to have leeches on them and not moving much, and normally they sit still when the water's colder, so I think the water just needs to pick up a little bit to catch fish in the margin. So I think I'm going to rule that out unless I've got some big tree sunk in the water, which I can't see it, but unless there's some special feature. So it's going to be 2 lines across, a maggot attack, 1 in the deeper water, maybe 2 if I've got enough space, depending who's pegged next to me or where I am. I still may start dobbing a bit of bread if I've got some features over, but obviously I've ruled out wasting time on pellet, because although I heard and I was told some locals this morning when I was in the shop that pellet has started to work, it's very cold today. I mean, I'm froze. I've got no thermal vest on or bottoms, and it's very cold, so the fish must feel it as well. So that's been planned for attack, so I'll get this gear packed away and we'll have a look at what I've caught. Well, there we are. Not bad after all. 1 lovely Bertie the barbel. All caught on maggot. That'll be my approach tomorrow. We're going to have 3 lines, 2 across, maybe 4. Might have 2 down the middle of deeper water. But if I can catch that tomorrow, I'll be well happy. Well over £30 there. Beautiful fish. Real cracking, well, a cracking session really, but started off slow as I know it would, but it's so cold. So let's get these fish in the water, and you'll see me on the match tomorrow.
leg, which is not fishing.
Come on, Mel. There's a good one in here.
You need it.
Bad one.
You need 74 or something. 97, nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Go before.
Yeah.
Go all the way round to the back you go before. Fish one over the bridge.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Well, have you seen, I've just drawn peg 97, which is on Covey 4, and I'm just over a bridge, so I can turn around and fish down towards the bridge. Spoke to a couple of locals, and they said, yeah, it's shallow, but I should catch going down towards the bridge. Fair peg for me section, although there's a couple of good pegs in my section of 4 pegs. I'm happy with it. Bit of a feature, something to go to, maybe some rushes. Well, we'll see when we get there, but yeah, no one went, oh no, you don't want to be there. So let's get down there, get set up, and hopefully catch a few fish. Well, I don't know if you could see, that's mad rush trying to get set up and fishing. I've set up a little dobbing rig that I just started on now. I started probably 5 minutes after the match started. I'm just dobbing a little bit of bread along the bridge just to see if there's any fish half depth along there. I've set a line up at about 14 metres to the sedges on the far side of the bridge that I've walked over, as you can see my peg here, to fish maggot. I've put maggot in the deepest water in the bowl out there down the track. It's very shallow over, and I've set one line over that I'm going to have a go on maggot. I dobbed a little bread there first quickly, nothing. There was a little indication then. So when I come in this time, I'm going to put some maggots there. So I've got 3 lines for maggot, and then I'm just having a first 20 minutes on bread along this bridge here, see if there's anything about. Oh, nice. Got to be a £5 F1. Well, we're 2 hours in. I've got 3 lines on the go. I've had a couple of nice F1s, a few small carp, some little fish. Doing all right looking at the anglers around me. But I feel I'm going to catch in that deeper water. But at the moment I'm just nicking a few small little carp, as you've seen, against the sedges at about 14.5 metres. So I keep nicking a few fish here, and when I get a few gudgeon or small fish I come off it, pop some maggots in, have a look on my deeper line or have a look on the line over. I've only had a few little tiny roach and rudd over. I just feel on all the lines I will catch some F1s, and that's what you want. I've got one F1 over £5, it's a beautiful fish. And now your weight builders. So another 3 hours to go. Let's just hope I can catch better towards the end and keep nicking fish. going to the last hour now, and I've just started getting a few more F1s. What I seem to get 2 or 3 fish, then nothing for like 6-7 minutes, then another one, then I might nick another 2, but not mad, not like I like it to be, but I see all the anglers around me, they're not really catching a lot, so I think it's just how it is. It's just, we're just still in that cold and we just keep nicking a few fish. I can only really catch to these sedges along here, to the far back. I can't catch to the corner. I've just had a few indications there. And down the middle, I had a few after an hour, and then that was it. I had my biggest F1 there. I had 2 or 3 F1s down the middle, and then not another bite, just a few little gudgeon. But here I can keep nicking the odd F1, so I feel I've just got to stick with this. You know, not going to have a big weight at all, but I have been catching odd fish from the start, so just carry on and just catch what I can. That's it, that's the end of the match. Disappointing the last hour. Normally it'd be your best hour when you're catching F1s. I've caught probably another 7 or 8 fish, but small fish. I feel if the little fish I've caught a lot of little tiny carpet F1s. If they'd been that better stamp, I'd have had a good weight. I would have thought I've probably got 25 to 30 pound, I would have thought. But I'm always out. I could have a bit more, could have a bit less, but I feel I've beat the guys around me, but just couldn't keep the fish coming, just where it's cold. I never had no decent fish over, just a few roach. Down the middle a couple of fish early, then that went. And my main line's been across to the sedge where I've, throughout the rest of the match, nicked little F1s and little carp. So we'll just see at the end and what I've got. Well, that was hard. Yeah, a few little fish and just won't keep coming. Oh. Never mind. £6.4. We're back at the headquarters. I've weighed in £46 plus. So I had more than I thought, but then with the cameras there, and I wasn't thinking what was in my net, I was just thinking about the next fish. I just didn't know what I'd got. So £46 odd, which I beat all the guys around me. Behind me there's a spit where the fish have been, and they've had sort of slack water, and there's been 2 £70. In fact, they've probably been 3rd and 4th in the match. £92 won the match on maggot. There's been a few fish caught on pellet. I made the decision not to fish pellet after yesterday's practice and fish maggot. I felt it was the right decision. I just caught too many small fishes, little stockies, little tiny mirrors, a few little commons, little tiny F1s. Played a bit by gudging and that. Never had a bite on the far line where I'd have laid my house on it that I'd have caught fish, F1s over there. Best F1s were down the middle early on, and then that dried up and then it was just gudging. And I've caught nearly 40 minutes going across away from this bridge against some sedges, just tapping in a few maggots. But what I am taking away from here that I've learnt from this venue, unlike any other venue of F1s in, how light you have to go down to. Like I fished 010, 18s and 20 hooks, where I'd never fished probably below 012, 18, 16 on most venues. And I scaled down here yesterday practicing, it just made such a big difference. So maybe where a lot of anglers fish this, it's heavily fished here at Partridge Lakes. You have to scale down come winter time. It's been a great day. I've really enjoyed it. £60 was 6th, so my £46, I'd only be 2 or 3 places off of that. I couldn't have really done a lot more unless I could have got maybe a run of better fish rather than the small fish. They've been better fish, then a different story, but that's fishing and that's why we go. But really, I've really enjoyed it. I've had to work at it and think about it more than I normally would. No, it's been great. I mean, the venue here, Partridge Lakes, as you see, it's just absolutely fantastic. It's a credit to Barbara, the owner, and all the staff that do the work. It really is a lovely place to fish. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you on the next one. But I'd rather catch one of these